the end.
The story of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball coming to be happened from a simple premise. A volleyball minigame featuring the girls of DOA. It may sound a bit far-fetched, but at the time, fighting games had side minigames that gave the players a breather after grinding to get better for tournament play. Tekken 3 had this in the Tekken Ball mode, but that still incorporated fighting in it. The big one, really, was the Tekken Bowl mode featured in Tekken Tag Tournament. This mode lets you pick a Tekken character, well, 2 at the time because this was Tekken Tag Tournament, and well, play a game of bowling. This mode was fun and was even featured in Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection and Tekken 7. But for the ladies of DOA, with quite the sex appeal, we needed something a bit more fitting. Beach volleyball on a private island. The idea had actually been kicking around since DOA 2's development. Fans requested Team Ninja add beach volleyball as a minigame for DOA 2, a simple daydream as described in the G4 Icons episode of DOA, led to the development beginning after Dead or Alive 3 came out, and eventually the release of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball itself. Developed by Team Ninja and published by Tecmo, this game was exclusively released on the original Xbox on January 22nd, 2003 for North America, 1 day later for Japan, and March 28th, 2003 for PAL territories. I remember getting into DOA after getting a bunch of OG Xbox games for Christmas in the late 2000s, probably about 2009 or so, or 2008, and DOA 3 was one of them. By then, I tried to get every other DOA game I could, and DOA 4 was the game that made me want to get an Xbox 360 for my 13th birthday. In addition to this, though this took a bit more convincing. See, this was the first DOA game to be rated M for mature by the ESRB because of the revealing swimsuits and suggestive poses. Combined with the Ninja Hacker fiasco and the worry about modding the damn thing for the real goods, even though my happy ass had no idea you could soft mod an Xbox at the time. And this actually led to my mom and stepdad at the time, who actually ended up playing the damn game beforehand. And keep in mind, this is when very few GameStop locations had Xbox stuff, and they were just trying to get it out of the store, so there was no way in hell it was going back. I had played Halo 2 in the suffering up to this point, but apparently this was a different beast. Was the hassle worth it? Yeah, more or less. The story of this game, yeah, that's right, this game has a story. See, at the end of DOA 3, Ayane ends up defeating Omega, but she leaves afterwards. This is almost like Paul defeating Ogre in Tekken 3, not realizing True Ogre is the real big bad who Jin takes down for real. Her mistake is Zack's gain. The resident Muay Thai DJ gets the money as a result and ends up using it on his Vegas vacation. He wins a crap ton of money as a result of a lucky play on roulette, and does what every person wanting to get away from it all does. He buys an island. He names it after himself, Zack Island, and invites all the ladies from up to DOA 3 at this point under the guise of the 4th Dead or Alive tournament. One other lady who wasn't a playable fighter is also invited, but we'll get to her soon enough. He also invites his girlfriend Nikki to come along with him. When the ladies get there though, they find out they've been Smeckledorfed.
That's not even a word, and I agree with you.
Finding out there's no use in raising a fuss, the ladies decide to spend 2 weeks on the island playing volleyball, relaxing, and generally frolicking around for their amusement and the players' amusement. When you start a new game, you are given the choice to select from one of 8 characters. Every playable female DOA character up to this point is here, in addition to a new one, Lisa. She was hired by Zack to be the holiday representative for the island. She was also a head scientist at Doatech, being involved in the Epsilon project, aka taking the ninja Hayate, and he became I, but by the end of DOA 2, he became Hayate once again. Yeah. She was the one who released him, and then left to become a stockbroker while still being affiliated with Doatech. Lead scientist for Project Alpha, aka Alpha 152, the most infuriating boss in a fighting game since Dural and Jinpachi Mishima. She's also been friends with Tina Armstrong since high school, and she would be later playable as a fighter from DOA 4 onwards as a luchadora named La Mariposa, Spanish for butterfly. Because Virtua Fighter 5 introduced the Luchador Nobles, DOA 1 at 1 as well. Oh, right, I'm sorry, there's more of this game here to talk about. Pick a lady and you'll team up with Lisa by default, Tina if you choose Lisa. You have 14 days on the island. Each day is broken up into morning, afternoon, and evening. You can do one activity per time slot. These include relaxing at a pool, looking at the girl, relaxing elsewhere, talking to other girls should you need a new partner, or playing one of the two main minigames. The first is pool hopping. Pool hopping has you go from one end of the pool to the other by hopping on these pads without falling in. You get bonus points for chaining jumps smoothly without falling in. The faster you get to the other side, the more Zac dollars you get to spend. More on that in a moment. The main game you'll play though to earn Zac dollars is in the title, Beach Volleyball. The volleyball itself has you and your partner go against a team of 2 girls. First to 7 points wins, with tiebreakers if necessary. It pretty much plays like your standard round of volleyball. It's very simple to pick up on how it plays. You have 2 actions, one for spiking and one for blocking. The other for receiving or setting, depending on which side of the net you are playing on. You do have control over the girls, but a lot of actions happen automatically, like jumping to spike the ball. As such, the game basically boils down to moving the girl into the right position, setting up the ball, and having either you or your partner hit the ball depending on who does what. The main thing to worry about is the timing. Time your hits right, and you can perform pretty well. Don't, and you'll fail. You'll want to keep winning matches to earn more Zac dollars. That's the in-game currency that allows you to buy various items. New bikinis for the girls, accessories like hats, suntan lotion, different volleyballs, various collectibles that are just there for the hell of it that you can look at and put in your collection, including the prototype Xbox, I kid you not, and items that can be given to various girls as gifts. The gift system is rather important as you may need it to either find a new partner or keep your current. You see, you need to keep winning volleyball games, not just for money, but this keeps your friendship with your partner up. You'll also play better in-game as a result. Lose more games, and your friendship will go down, and you may even lose your partner, which would only relegate you to pool hopping and casino games for money. More on that last one in a moment. Otherwise, endless relaxation in short cutscenes when you visit areas with no one else in them. To build friendships and get a partner should you need to, you can give a girl a gift. A collectible or a swimsuit. Each girl has different things that appeal to her. You can either look online on an FAQ or read the manual. The right gift/amount will eventually lead to her becoming your volleyball partner. So go and have fun. I miss the days of manuals. Keep in mind though, some girls still have their general dislikes still sometimes for one another because of things that happen in the main story here, so some will take a bit more convincing than others. Finally, when nighttime hits, you can go to the casino. You've got roulette, blackjack, slot machines, and poker. Though poker is more like a 5-card draw video poker, but I digress. Lather, rinse, repeat for 13 more days, and you have this game in a nutshell. You get a funny ending cutscene afterwards, and end of game. Money does carry over between vacations, so you can use unspent money for different characters, and all swimsuits tend to stay with that particular character they are under for all future sessions. This is seemingly despite having only 3 save slots, but hey, that's what the wiki says, so... With the need to win volleyball games being of utmost paramount, it's no surprise the game has solid controls. You move your character with the left analog stick, you can pivot the camera around with the right analog stick in relaxation scenes, and hit and miss cutscenes of the volleyball. You have 2 ways of handling the volleyball controls. The digital inputs will put the strong attack and receive on A and B, and the soft variants of those on X and Y. If you select analog, you can actually use the pressure-sensitive buttons of the Xbox controller. Push harder for a stronger hit/receive, and you get the idea. Remember when that was a thing? Those were the days. Honestly though, it might just be easier to use digital so you can focus on the timing. But both control schemes do work fine, and you'll pick them up in no time. Navigating menus is also easy to do, and you have a good control on the game. Hell, in the pool hopping minigame, you can actually test the pressure sensitivity of the buttons, which is pretty cool. The game also looks very gorgeous, much like the ladies of the game themselves. The textures for the island look very good for the time. Objects like umbrellas, trees, and the like look good. Environments also look very good. From white sandy beaches, luscious jungle, underwater stuff looks nice. Above the water looks pretty good. And the whole game is just very pleasant to look at. You pretty much feel like you're at the island itself, and the ambience also fits perfectly. It almost feels like a precursor to all those beach ambience videos you'd find on a YouTube channel like My Tranquility, but you'd have to fire up the game itself and leave it at the menu or turn off the music for peaceful beach ambience. This is what we did when we didn't have YouTube, everyone. The character models also look very good. The ladies are pleasant to look at. They look smooth, they look nice in their beachwear, but Teen Ninja still couldn't properly figure out proper hair physics at the time. Even for the next generation. But I digress. Everything still looks good and is all playable in 480p progressive scan at 60 frames per second. Of course, just bikinis weren't enough for some people. Hell, even gaming magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly took advantage of some fans' desires in the April 2003 edition of their magazine, issue number 165 of their yearly, April Fool's joke. They tried to pass off a so-called nude code to have the girls topless. Of course, this wasn't real, and many Reddit eaters sent angry letters once they found out it was a hoax. Of course, that didn't stop those gifted in hacking models to remove the bikinis from the ladies, much to the chagrin of Tomonobu Itagaki himself, the series creator.
In fact, I find the nude hacks irritating. If they're so talented at doing such things, why don't they use their skills for something more meaningful? So when you see a girl in DOA, I can understand why one would want to undress her. But if you do so, you really should be embarrassed.
Embarrassed, huh? Oh, Itagaki, if only you knew what would happen to DOA nowadays, then trust me, that would be the least of your worries. No, seriously, Ninja Hacker basically did these mods back in the day for people who still went out of their way to mod their Xboxes at a time where you could still walk into a Walmart, Target, Best Buy, etc. and buy an Xbox off a store shelf brand new along with these games, and well, yeah, basically Tecmo was pissed, sued them out of existence, and yeah, there are still mods that float around to this day, so should you want to really do that, be my guest, but I can't link you much basically, but you can find everything with a cursory Google/Reddit search. Now back to the actual review. The sound is on point here as well. All sound effects sound crisp and clear, and they match the beach look very well. Ocean sounds are relaxing, volleyball sounds match depending on how hard or soft you hit the ball, menu sound effects are good, cache sounds work, and the sound design is nice on the whole. The music itself is, well, I once saw it described as a mood in a YouTube comment, if that tells you anything. The music itself actually switches depending on the time of day. Morning and afternoon times have more pop and ska oriented stuff, with songs by artists like the Baha Men, Rajani, the Spice Girls, Christina Aguilera, Real Big Fish, Innocence, and Bewitched. The song choices fit, and there's a few gems in there depending on your taste. When we get to the evening and nighttime, we switch it up with some slower stuff, a little reggae if you will. This part of the soundtrack features songs by Aswad, Olga Tannen, Big Mountain, and Janet Kay, whose cover version of Minnie Riperton's Lovin' You runs circles around the original version, but I digress. Mainly because it's less grating on the ears. Now, should none of this sound appealing to you, you can use the Xbox custom soundtrack feature and put your own music here. That way, you can have your own makeshift version of the volleyball scene from Top Gun with beautiful women. Though between you and me, I take my two favorite My Hero Academia ships, Izuocha and Kiramina, and have them play volleyball to that song. But I digress. George Duke's Brazilian Sugar also serves as the theme to the casino section. Everything works well here. The in-game voice acting is all in Japanese, and it works for the time being at least. If you enjoyed it in the previous games, it will work here for you. The pre-rendered cutscenes, though, do have English voice acting, including NBA star Dennis Rodman voicing Zack. Fitting, seeing as how Rodman was the inspiration for Zack. His girlfriend Nikki is voiced by Rebecca Reedy, and she does a good job as well. In addition to the main game, you can do exhibition volleyball matches, and you can replay the game to collect suits for all characters. There are 304 in total, plus 3 unique ones per character that are received as gifts from Zack, for 328 swimsuits total. So, yeah, lot to collect. Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball is the perfect example of a turn your brain off and relax kind of game. You don't need to overly think or be fully alert in parts, and there's not much to think about. It looks awesome, sounds well, controls well, has a lot of content to collect, and it's just a very relaxing game. However, the hair physics are still not good. Untied hair that's long enough goes through the character's shoulders and the like, It's not really meant to be a one and done game, and there actually isn't that much meat on the bone at first glance. But once you look at the depth of the volleyball, you might find more than you expected. If you're looking for a turn your brain off sort of game, this is the perfect example of such, at least that comes to my mind. The game is sitting at about $25 for CIB copies, which isn't horrible, but it's more than what I paid for at GameStop years ago. Japan and PAL copies are at about $15, so you guys are in better shape than us for now. Either way, it's a fun game. I give Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball a 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the big red button below to subscribe. Check out the other links in the description for more cool stuff, and check out the playlist on screen for more content. See you in the next video.